guessing. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Spinner Music Podcast or Vidcast with Al Horta, my co-host. Hey, Al, how's it going, man?
Hey, it's going great, man. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing great. It looks like we have all of America with us today. We've got a lot of great friends with us today. Some that have not been on in a while. We're so glad they are back. We're talking about Brad Daw and Kate Doré. We're so happy to have y'all back here. And today we are going to be well, let me introduce our panel. Let's start with that. Today we have Mark Allen Taylor from the Freeform Rock Podcast, America's podcast, and also for the BS Sessions with Mark and Jerry. So how's it going there, Mark?
It's going great. I didn't think you're going to go to me first, so I started taking a drink. So, damn. Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, America's podcast. Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yep, of course. And also we've got his co-host on the BS Sessions and also on Freeform, and also my co-host when it comes to our football podcast, and also I'm a co-host with him on Three Shots Down. How's it going there, Jerry?
Holy shit, I'm wearing a bunch of hats, aren't I? Wow.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Shit, no wonder you don't have time for me anymore.
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
I've taken up all this time.
High in demand. What can I
Fuck,
say?
Andy.
Nah, man. I mean, I'm doing good, man. Like you didn't have to really, convince me a lot to be on a Led Zeppelin episode, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's been a while since you've been on Black Spinner too, so thanks for saying
The
that.
first thing when you asked me that, I said, I hope he asked Jerry, because this is like Jerry's wheelhouse right here. So
yeah, I knew that he would enjoy it. And
Yeah,
also,
I think Andy asked me, like, he texted me in like 15 seconds. I think I answered back yes on that one. So yeah, it's pretty easy.
And also we got Joseph Staub with us here. Hello, Joe. How's it going?
Doing
It's
good.
Really nice for you to say that you be on here because you've been on here quite a bit lately. So thank you so much for your time and dedication to us. We really do appreciate it. And also we've got Kate Doré with us. How's it going, Kate? She's also a co-host with us on Three Shots Down. So
Yes.
her too is on a lot of shows with us. How's it going?
The hard-working one of the three.
Yeah, all right. I just talked and she does all the technical stuff in the background.
And rising comedian star.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. We got our own Joan Rivers with us. How's it going, Joan?
yeah, I can't even get her on our shows, Jerry. You took
She's
her
mine,
show.
damn it. She's mine, damn it.
You fucker.
My
Every time I make plans with her, she cancels.
What plans?
Long time ago, about a few months ago. You were busy.
Oh,
though.
I'm
You had problems.
sorry.
Yeah.
One time.
And
Like if I say I'll do it, it's very rare that I'll cancel.
yeah, exactly. She's always on.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes something very.
I
very
know, I
important to
know.
her back out.
I know. It takes something special for me to not do it if I say I will. So I apologize, but I will be on. Comedy is taking up a lot of my time. I've been trying to do 2 mics a week, and it's some hustle.
If you want to get, if you want to get
Yeah.
where you want to get, you got to be out there all the time, making yourself known.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I had my first paid gig on Tuesday. That was
Paid
cool.
gig?
So yeah. Thank
Wow.
you.
We got to
Yeah,
hook
that's
you up
great.
with Courtney Crolin.
Yeah,
Cronin,
I think we're gonna lose her as a host here eventually. And
No, I'll
gonna
be
be-
around.
she gonna be too big for us.
No,
Oh well, I just hope that you're not counting this as your paying gig.
no.
The check's in the mail.
Your check's in the mail,
Post dated 2037.
right? And also with us today is also my co-host from the baseball podcast from Pop the Mid and Crack the Bat, Mr. Brad Daw. How's it going, Brad?
It's going well.
Howdy.
Been moving snow all day, so physically
wow. Holy
and
crap.
pretty hammered. But I'm ready to talk rock. Let's go.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's very. Me and Brad are always talking about being on a show together, so it's very rare. It's actually good to actually be on a show with Brad now. So
I don't,
Everybody's
is,
been
this the first
No.
time, Jerry?
I think we did a debut album once. Top
Okay.
debut albums, I think.
Yeah.
Is
I
that right,
think-
Andy? Did we do that on this show?
Oh yeah.
It's the one. It's the one where Mark It's the one where Mark yelled at me for not saying Tesla's mechanical
He
resonance. I
did
think.
do that. Yeah, that's right. He got all mad because Tesla wasn't mentioned.
Oh, I got all mad at him.
But he's right. I should have put that on there. He's
Yeah.
right. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't
but
believe I
should
forgot
give
that
you
one.
reasons why you were right when you
And-
did it in the first place.
And I was on with Brad on that Rush episode, right?
No,
Oh, that wasn't him. Oh,
no, you did it with Toast, with William Toast.
oh yeah.
William
That
Toth.
was a long episode.
That was a long episode, and we never even finished it.
We didn't get to the live albums, man.
I think
We still got to do the live albums part 2,
I
man.
know. I think
Part
I think
2.
we were at 4 hours and 20 minutes. We said, okay, let's cut this out.
Yeah.
And we cut it
420,
short.
and that's when you played. What is it? Bangkok.
Yeah, I think our Rush episode of BS is one of the longest too. I think. I mean, I'm just a casual Rush fan, so I'm listening to like I think it was Al, Chris, and you, Marcus. Somebody else wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm just sitting there like this. I'm not because I was bored. Just I couldn't keep up with what they knew. I was like, I couldn't keep up with them. They knew too much about Rush. I was like, damn.
We're over 150 episodes, so every time you give me an idea, I go back and scroll. Did we do that? Did we do that? Did we do that? You know, it's kind of hard now to remember.
also
You should keep an Excel spreadsheet or something, Mark.
Yeah,
And
like
of
I have
course-
time to do that.
And of course, we got the great co-host Al Horta, who was not supposed to be here today, but found out Bob Dylan was yesterday.
Yeah.
So he went to go see Bob Dylan yesterday, and now he's with us today. So it's so good to see you, Al.
Good to see you guys too, man. And Kate, Brad, Joe, rock and roll over there.
Well, I need to get rid of that actually because I'm still pissed that the 49ers lost, but I haven't had time to change it yet.
No holding calls on the Chiefs. Okay.
Big sexy, as we call him.
Yeah, I prefer that one.
Andy, man, and my, of course, the host, Andy. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Doing all right. Very excited about this because I have a lot of y'all here, so that's so much fun. You know, the more the friends, the merrier everything is. So this is great. So as y'all know, we've got a wonderful new segment where we go around the horn and we talk about what we've been listening to, and we give a little share about it. So you go ahead, Mark. What have you been spinning lately?
Well, I couldn't find a CD. It's in here somewhere, but that Last Candlebox, The Last Goodbye, that album fucking rules. That's like one of the best albums. Freaking, and then I've been getting into this U2 album again, that one, and then I got the new Plush and the new Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson's cool so far. I got to listen to it again, but it's kind of weird. He covered Book of Soul song on his album, so I was like, yeah.
So let me ask you something. That Plush, is that a new album by them?
It's an EP. It only has 6 songs, but it has their version of Barracuda on it, which is really weird. If you listen to this album, it's like all modern rock, and then they go into Barracuda in the middle. And I go, what? It's like it's a curveball. I like it. It's a good album, but it's more modern rock, but then they go really classic rock with that. And they sing fucking, she's got some pipes, man. She hits that fucking song perfect.
Yeah, because she's on The Voice, and I think that's one of the songs that what's the lead singer's name? Oh, I forgot.
Mariah Formica.
Yeah, I think she performed that song on The Voice. So that's like what got her into popularity. Is that right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when I saw them open up for Alice in Chains a couple years ago, they played it as well.
Well, Michael Sweet's been promoting her for years before I knew it because Michael Sweet's always putting up stuff with her cone on stage with Piper.
Yeah, I saw her on YouTube. She was doing a version of Steelheart's "Angel Eyes, I'll Never Let You Go." Holy crap! Did she nail that song?
She killed that song.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, what a gift she has, man.
Yeah, rock
she's
is not
great.
dead, people. Thank you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
she's great. And what about you, Jerry? What have you been listening to?
Well, thanks to Al, I've been really getting into King's X lately. Now I'm only on their second album. I got that little 5-pack of theirs. I love their first album so much that I've kept it in my CD player for like 2 weeks now. I just started the second album, wow, I mean, what a great band. I can't believe I really never really, got into them or delved. I knew of them, but to delve deep in them, man, good freaking band. I want to thank Al for that because, man, it's some good music.
No
Wait till you
problem.
get to Gretchen.
Yeah. I've also been I really dig this Aerosmith Greatest Hits package, man. This is one of the best Greatest Hits things I've ever gotten because it's got like, each disc has different eras of the band. That's what's so cool about it. A lot of Greatest Hits bands will mix all the songs up, I'm talking about. But this is perfect. You got the first disc is all classic Aerosmith, then you got the second disc is like the 80s, and then the third disc is whatever the fuck you want to call that era of Aerosmith, the not very good era.
Favorite era. That's what.
Did they put anything from Music from Another Dimension on that?
I doubt it.
No.
Also,
But
Gary, is everything in chronological order?
Yeah, I mean, no, well, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it is in chronological
Awesome.
order from
I
album.
love
Yeah,
chronological order.
exactly. That's what's so cool about it because it's got, like I said, if you're in the mood for the 70s, pop in the first one. You're in the mood for the 80s Aerosmith, and if you're in the mood for the boring Aerosmith, you pop in the third disc. It's a really good Greatest Hits package, man. I recommend it, man.
That's pretty cool. I probably will look into that. Joseph, what have you been listening to, man?
All right. So when I was going through ranking my songs on Led Zeppelin 4 here, there was a thought that popped into my head, and I'll get to that specific thought when we get into the song that made me think of it. But that thought made me go back and revisit one of my favorite live albums of all time, and that is Leonard Skinner, One More from the Road.
Good one.
Absolutely love this album. I wish the vinyl version had Simple Man on it. It does not. It's a very, very crying shame. Thankfully, the CD Deluxe Edition does.
It has 3
the
songs,
vinyl.
right? 3 extra?
Yeah. It has a couple extra songs, and it has like a couple like alternate versions as well. But love this album, and we'll get into why I revisited this album once we get towards the end of our ranking.
Yeah, I gotta find out. But that is a barn burner of an album. It really is, man. You put that thing on, and it's great.
I have that album. My dog took a bite out of the cover, so one of the corners is missing.
Yeah,
Mark, you got to keep your vinyl away from your pets, man.
Oh, that was when they were puppies. My dog Socks was the one doing it. She's cool now.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not the only record I've heard you tell that story about.
Because I've never hit them. All I do is like I show them what they did. I go, "Did you do this?" And it stresses them out, and they don't do it again.
This is why I don't have pets.
Hey, they're trained. They're really good.
Yeah, I'm so am I, but they bite into my stuff. Kate, what have you been listening to lately?
So I don't know. I've been on a big Sinatra kick.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That's a big thing right now. I was thinking about this song when you brought this up, that we were at a restaurant and I heard on the radio this song, Heartless Bastards, Only for You. And it's been stuck in my head and it's like on repeat. So it's one of those that I have to put it on. If I think of it, I have to listen to it. Trying to think of what else I've been listening to. I mean, I've been listening to like a lot of comedy albums and stuff, especially if you can imagine that. But music wise, big Sinatra kick, and this Heartless Bastards jam's been stuck in my head. I have my usual, what do I got behind me? I got that's a compilation of Violent Femmes. I don't know. I'm trying to look around. I'm like stuff that I just got recently, so I'm on a Femmes kick too.
I love that band. I just didn't like them live.
You always say that, and I'm so sad because I've seen them 3 times and they kick.
I'm afraid to go back. I went to Guns N' Roses.
I want you to go see them again. I'm sad that you didn't have a good time at that because they're usually so good. Like I've seen them at a festival before, and they killed it at a festival. Like
I've
what
seen
other
live videos? They look great. I said, but when I
what
saw
other
them,
band?
they didn't look into it.
They wheeled out a Whamola. They wheel out a freaking Weber grill and play drums on a Weber grill and a Whamola. And I'm like, they're amazing. I'm so sad that you didn't have a good time at that show.
I love the band, though.
I want you to try again. They're doing a tour right now that they're redoing that first album. It's like a freaking 40th anniversary.
Just thinking about that, you know what they say. It's like, why can I get just one fuck? And you're like, what? And it's like, and they're playing acoustic shit. And
Dude,
they're
they
fucking
get
just
weird.
going off, man.
Yeah, they'll get weird. They have so many crazy songs, and like, I don't know. I could go on about them. I love them. So I'm gonna go to Al.
All right. Brad, what have you been listening to, man?
That's a great question. Well, of course, I listened to Led Zeppelin 4 this week a couple times. Today, I listened to the new Firewind album. I think it just came out Friday, last Friday. Stand United. It kind of starts off sounding like a lot of Euro metal, kind of. It's all right, but then the songs got a lot better, and I recommend it. But don't just be like after the first two songs go, I've had enough. Keep going.
Gus G.
Yes, Gus G. And of course, they highlight him quite a bit there, and he's awesome. But the really interesting thing is that they covered "Talking in Your Sleep" by the Romantics.
Oh shit!
And
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. It's interesting. That's all I'm going to say. So go, but their music is really good. That's an interesting cover. I highly recommend checking that out. So I'm starting on my list for 2024, and there's a chance this one might make my top 10. We'll see.
Oh yeah,
I think I heard your top 10 on another podcast.
Yeah, for 2023.
What was that guy? What was the guy?
Signals from Mars.
Signals from Mars. That's a great podcast. Check it out.
Yeah, it is. It is a very good. I bounce on there quite a bit.
I didn't know half the albums you guys were talking about. And I was like, damn, these guys go deep.
Well, the problem there is that it was open for like anybody to vote on their favorite albums, and unfortunately, a lot of people had problems coming up with 10 favorite albums of 2023.
Yeah.
I realize it's a lot of work to keep up with new music, but because of what I do with Yard Metal, and that's kind of our focus is trying to turn people onto brand new music, which that Firewind stuff will be showing up on the station here really quick. Yardmetal.com is where you can check that out. A lot of these people are just like, I really didn't listen to hardly any new music this year. I just keep listening to the same old stuff. I know. I don't get it either. So I loved. I started off with 56 albums and pared it down to 20 and then 10 for my top 10 for 2023. Yeah. That's a lot of, and those are like albums I really liked. To cut it down to 10, and so I'm always looking for new music to feature, and so if you got a band, you got new music, send it my way. I'll play it.
Cool. That's great, Brad. That really is.
Yeah, if it sucks, though, I'll probably only play it once. But if it's good, you'll make the regular rotation.
Oh, what have you been listening to, man?
All right, man. So last night, Edwin Canestracci and I went to go see Bob Dylan, and he was great, man. I got to say, like, I'm not a huge, like, I don't have everything by him, so it was more like Edwin's a hardcore fan. Like, he's got like the newer albums, all that stuff. So, if you were going to go there to listen to him play the classic stuff, you're going to be disappointed because he doesn't really do that. He's just an artist that kind of just looks forward, man. Just kind of he's not like a nostalgic kind of dude, So, but I respect that. And if he did play a classic, it was rearranged anyway. He sat behind the piano all night, and I remember the last time I saw him, probably before the pandemic. I don't know if it was 2019 or 18. He didn't play guitar like either time. So, but when I saw him, like, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, he did play guitar that time. So, but anyway, last night he sat behind the piano. He's a really good piano player, I gotta say, man. And so I respected him for that. He actually sounded better, his voice, than the last time I saw him. So it seems like his voice got stronger again. I think he's like 82.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how old is he? He's got to be in his 80s.
I believe he's 82.
Yeah.
So, and anyway, me and Eddie had a good time, man. We hung out. We went out to drink beforehand, had a bite to eat, then went to the concert. And then on the way home, I was like, dude, what do you want to listen to? You know, and he was like, let's listen to a band I've been listening to for a while. And it's a band called Lucifer.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I've heard of the band, but I never really heard anything about them. So I pulled up on my phone. We pulled up their newest album, Lucifer 5.
Yeah.
And we were listening to it. And I got to tell you, man, this fucking band is killer. If you like doom, stoner, that kind of genre.
Oh, really?
See,
Yeah,
if you guys would have listened to thatmetalstation.com, I've been playing them for a year.
All right. We all right.
Sorry.
Good for you, buddy.
No, I have. James West got me into that band. He requested them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we listened to it, and I was like, dude, this band's killer. They got a female vocalist. She's German, but the rest of the band's kind of based out. They're Swedish. So it says on their Wikipedia they're based out of Germany, but like it's the female singer is German, and the rest of the band is Swedish. Her name is Johanna Sedonis, and Lucifer 5. I'm gonna go out and buy a physical copy of this because I loved it so much, and I'm actually gonna go and kind of listen to their back catalog. They've been around 10 years now, and they have 5 albums. So I want to thank Edwin Canestracci for turning me on to them. That's my What's Spinning on the What's Spinning segment. I don't have a physical copy of the show, but the name of the band is Lucifer. They're awesome,
and
they're real catchy and heavy. Like we love heavy riffs, but catchy at the same time, and great singing. And I don't know, they're great, man. So can't recommend them enough. Brad, you should put them on your yard metal.
I'm gonna listen to this album tomorrow, and then I'll probably buy it. So there you go.
And I think it's the newest album that came out this year. So
yeah, it's 2024.
And after listening to the album last night, it's probably in my contention to be in my top 10 albums already, man.
Already.
Yeah, so
all right. Thanks, Al. That's a good.
That's what I got.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Andy.
Yeah, as y'all know that I've been delving and jumping into this jazz rock fusion. And this is my second album that I bought from this guy. He seems to be an underrated guitar player is what I read about him. But he's really fun to listen to. This is introducing the 11th House with Larry Coryell.
Oh, he's a great guitar player.
Yeah. And then I looked him up because he's so good. So I got curious. He's actually they got 2 different birthplaces for him. On Wikipedia, they got him being from Port Arthur, Texas, which is probably about an hour and 10 minutes away from here. And it's also the home of UGK and Janis Joplin. All came from Port Arthur. But when you look at all music, they say Galveston, Texas, which is even closer to me. And it's pretty interesting because they're kind of across from the channel that goes from the Gulf of Mexico. So it's pretty cool to know that he's from there. But then when he was young, his father was a musician, so they moved to New York. But he's a fantastic guitar player. I got this one and his second album called Lady Coryell, which is really good too. The one from '68 was more of a psychedelic guitar workout. He has a bad singing voice. He really does. But this one was pure jazz rock fusion from '74. And it's all instrumental, and it's great. I'm really enjoying this jump into this genre. I pulled out all the Santanas that are from that era, all of the Jeff Becks from that era, all the Zappas from that era, and I'm just buying stuff as quick as I can. My wife's like, "What are you buying?" Don't worry about it. It's gonna be all right. And then today I got my ticket to go see Steve Hackett next month. So I'm excited about that.
Cool.
It's the 50th anniversary of Foxtrot. So,
yeah, I just got tickets for Alan Parsons Project, man. They're a bucket list band for me. I'm actually looking forward to seeing them live.
Oh
too.
yeah, man, they're great.
I'd love to see them.
Yeah, me too. They came here not too long ago, but I wasn't able to make. I really enjoy their music. So, all right, guys. So let's get started with the breakdown of this great album. It was released in 1971. It is grouped together by Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and Deep Purple's Machine Head as being one of the three classic hard rock heavy metal albums. And we've talked about this before. Those three albums can't be any more different from each other as as light as night and day. And this is more of a rock and roll tradition. The others did take a step further of being a little bit heavier, especially the Sabbath Paranoid one. So let's get started. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna rank the songs on this album, and we're gonna start from 8, which being your least favorite, all the way to your favorite. So let's get started. Mark, what is your least favorite song on this album here on Led Zeppelin 4?
4 Sticks. I think it's like that song comes on, I easily skip it. So it's not my favorite on here. It's something I could go, well, let's see what else is going on. I'll skip that song.
Skip it.
I'll skip it.
Skip it. Okay.
Fucking kick him out, Andy. Kick him out.
Mark,
Right
Mark,
now.
I think you're breaking up.
I just
I'm just saying that is
Yeah.
the least favorite on this album. You know,
I know.
You
if
can
I
say
listen
it's
to
your
the
least
album,
favorite. You
if
didn't
I
need to
listen
say
to
you
this
skip it.
entirety,
Yeah.
I will listen to the song. It's not bad. It's a good song, but it's like something like that. It comes up on shuffle.
Yeah.
I'll skip it.
Okay.
I want to hear what's next.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Let him put his foot in his mouth. It's okay.
Gary, what is your number 8?
Well, first of all, there's no least favorites. These are all fucking my favorites, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the songs you hear on the radio aren't the best songs. The songs you hear mostly on the radio from this time. You hear just about every one of these on the radio, but the more popular ones actually are kind of the weaker ones, in my opinion. And the one that I have to put on the bottom is Rock and Roll. I mean, there's a little burnout factor to it. I mean, it's got the fucking classic drum opening by Bonham, but compared to the rest of the songs on the album, they're just not. I mean, it's just not as good as the other 7, in my opinion. But it's still a great freaking song. You don't get me wrong. But I mean, it's a cool song to play if you're in a band, dude. It's a great jam song. It's easy to play. Yeah, that's my first one.
All right.
Or number 8.
Number 8. Joseph, what are you going to do with your number 8 there, Mr. Jimmy?
So I'll reiterate Jerry in saying that I'd be hard pressed to say any of these wasn't great. I mean, I definitely have a clear least favorite, but it's not a bad song. For me, I think it's just the most kind of middle of the road song on the album, and to me that is Battle of Evermore. I really enjoy it, but it's not like one that really sticks out for me either way. I think there is a song that they do on this album where they do this kind of vibe a lot better. So we'll talk about that song later, I'm sure. But for me, it really, I love the feel of it, but it really doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't progress very much. I like the way it starts, but it really doesn't move on much from there. So it's a great song, but something had to be at number 8, and for me, that was Battle of Evermore.
Interesting. Kate, what are you going to start off with today, Kate?
All right. Unpopular opinion, but I agree with Mark. 4 Sticks. This one's hard. This is probably my favorite Zeppelin album. So it's like saying that's my least favorite of my favorite Zeppelin album. We'll get there. I don't know. 4 Sticks.
Well, you got to start somewhere. I was
Right.
just giving Mark a hard time.
Right.
Brad, what are you going to start off with?
All right. First of all, I have to say that I listened to this album with earbuds in. It's a remastered one, and what a great sounding album. I mean, you listen to a lot of the music that's coming out today, which I do, and I don't know what's up with the production today. It's just it's like everything just slammed. Where you listen to an album like this, you can hear everything that's going on, even when there's like what sounds like 5 guitar tracks playing at the same time. It works. Everything
It breathes.
Yes, everything sits in its space. There's space there, and the drums are just incredible. So yeah, I just wanted to start off with that. And the Battle of Evermore. Yeah. And the reason I picked that is because, well, there's no bass and there's no drums. I mean, so that kind of hurts. And I thought maybe if I smoked weed, I'd like that song a lot more. And it's not that I don't like it. It's just, it just, yeah, it goes nowhere. I think somebody else said that. So there you go. There's my number 8. You know what's funny though is I thought, crap, man, I'm going to get roasted here as I rank all these things, and but I guess we're all in the same boat. So start paddling, man.
And our buddy Jimmy Swartz is saying 4 Sticks is definitely number 8 for him.
Wow.
So he's agreeing along with Mark and Kate.
Well, I was called dumb on that one, so
No, you were called dumb because you said you'd skip it. That's why.
But I explained why I would skip it. If it came up in a shuffle, I would skip it. But if I was playing the album,
if it's an actual record, you're gonna play it.
I would play it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's hard to skip.
I want to go.
Record.
Hey, man, maybe they'll play Dawkins next. You know.
See, you didn't specify that at the beginning, Mark. You just said 4
I
sticks.
did say that at the end.
No, you did, but when we started yelling at you, all you said was, "My number 8 is 4 sticks. I'd skip it."
I would skip it if it came up in a shuffle. Okay, whatever.
See that when you explained it, I can understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's not when we were yelling at you.
Okay, whatever.
What do you start off with?
I'm going to agree with Jerry on this one, man. I'm going to go with Rock and Roll as my number 8. Again, to me, like, this is for me, I mean, there's no skippable songs. There's no filler on this album. I love every track on this album. But if I'm going to rank it, I mean, I'm putting Rock and Roll at number 8. It's still a great song. I mean, they used to open their shows with it. They've got the crowd going. Especially on the song Remains the Same. Whenever I watch that film, you hear Bonzo go, "Hey, let's go!" And
all right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go, man! And fucking comes in, and off you go, man. And I do like the live version actually better than the album version.
I do too. What a great fucking live album that is still to this day, man.
It's just kind of like it's just Zeppelin kind of channeling like a Chuck Berry type of vibe, on a song, and it works, man. It just one of the many facets of Led Zeppelin, man. Yeah. They were never a one-trick pony. They covered a lot of ground, and this is one of the grounds that they covered. So that's my number 8, though, Rock and Roll.
I'm going to agree with some of y'all. My number 8 is the Battle of the Never Ending Song. Oh my God, this thing never ends. It means it goes pointless. It goes nowhere. I want to put this at number 8. And in fact, not only is that number 8, it's also one of the least Led Zeppelin tracks that I dislike.
Oh no.
Period. I can really now this one, I do skip it. Even when I'm listening to the album, I will skip the song. Wow. It's god awful. I know that it's about medieval
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
I mean, what Led Zeppelin song isn't?
But I don't want to hear him sing about it and Sandy Denny wailing over it.
That's Mark's favorite band, Fairboy Convention.
Oh yeah, right.
But she sounds better on this song than she does in that band. Okay.
And in fact, it was very interesting. I might want to do an episode of her on 3 Shots Down, just as long as we don't have to hear her sing. We can talk about it. That's fine. So I'm starting off with the Battle of the Never Ending Song. That's where I am. So number 7, Mark, what do you got next?
Oh, I'm going for Battle of Evermore. Come on. Sandy Denny, Fairport Point Convention. No.
Fairport, is it Fairport or Fair Point?
It's a running joke where I mess up the name just to piss off Lee, and he gets pissed off because it's a thing, Fairpoint Port, and he gets pissed off.
I feel like that
yells at me.
Pissing off Lee is a growing number of people's favorite pastime.
Well, I know how to do it well. I had 8 years with the guy. So it's easy. I got keywords for that guy to get when he was like going low. I'd say something to get him to get pissed off and get back into the show. So it worked. But Battle of Evermore, that's my number 7.
All right. Jerry, what's your next one?
I'm gonna have to go with 4-6 on this one. I fucking love 4-6. It's a great song. You know, John Bonham with the plays with 4 sticks, obviously on the song. I love Plant's voice. I love when the owls cry in the night. His voice is awesome on that song. On this song,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but there's like so many more that are better than that one. This song is a fucking great song, dude. And this is so hard, dude. This really was.
Yeah, it's
But
fun.
I'm gonna have to pick 4-6 for my number 7.
I like rearrange these. I don't know how many times.
Same.
Y'all gonna kill me for the next one.
Joseph, what's your number 7 track?
Well, I don't know what the general consensus is, but I might catch a lot of flack for this one. This is a song you still hear on the radio quite a bit. One that I was never crazy about. I enjoy the song. There's parts of the song I actually don't like. There's parts of the song that are some of the best on the album, and that's why it's so low, because it's such a divisive song for me. And that is Misty Mountain Hop. There's parts of this song that I really don't like, and the I hate that part. But the part right after that where Plant has the really great vocals, I like that part. But it just goes back and forth, and there's parts I really enjoy, parts I don't enjoy, so that's why it's so low on the list. But yeah, so my number 7, like I said, one you still hear on the radio quite a bit, Misty Mountain Hop.
I think that track would have sounded a little bit better or accepted better if it was on Houses of the Holy.
Yeah, take off the crunch. There you go.
Yeah. That song and to Houses of the Holy, it matches better.
It fits the vibe of Houses of the Holy better. I'd agree. Yeah,
it does.
The crunch should have been a bonus track. Okay, sorry.
Hey, what's your number 7?
I have to go with Battle of Evermore. I love Tolkien. There's some Tolkien haters apparently.
Not me. Not me.
I love Tolkien, so you can imagine what's going to be higher up on my list. But this one only brought ever to be on a Zeppelin album. So Sandy Denny of Fairport Convention. Yeah, I don't know. It is a long one. It draws out long. I get why that's lower on people's lists. But
yeah, when I was a kid, I had a lot of friends, or like when I was a teenager, there were a lot of kids around me that were also reading Tolkien. You know, I can understand, but I was reading Jim Davis at the time.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, very different.
I knew nothing about him till the movies, and then I go, "Oh, dude, Led Zeppelin and Rush are singing about Lord of the Rings."
Yeah.
I went, "What?"
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that was The Hobbit was the first novel I ever read as a kid, and that has such a set thing in my mind forever. Just it's in there, it's imprinted. But that, I mean, Zepp obviously, like they loved him too. Yeah,
they really did. Brad, what's your number 7?
Yeah, this one almost made my number 8, but it's number 7, and it's Rock and Roll. Reason, for me, the best part about the song is the beginning and the end, the drums. I've played this song, I can't even tell you how many times with so many different bands, because somebody mentioned it's a great song for jamming. And yeah, but for playing bass on, no. I mean, I give it my all every time I play it, but it's I gotta really pretend, that I'm enjoying it. I gotta really work hard. It's just listening to it is no.
Oh.
No, I would.
You're over it.
Yeah, I would skip it. So there you go.
Oh. I guess skipping is a thing tonight.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I've been vindicated.
Yeah. What's your number 7?
Shit, I might get shit for this one, but again, I don't hate any song in the sound, so I got to rank them. So
right,
my number 7 is going to be Going to California, and it's just not. It's not a reason that I don't like the song. Which I know. Yeah,
Jerry's hulking up over there.
Break my neck, man. You know, I love the song, man. It's number 7, man. It's just, I mean, it's another facet of Led Zeppelin. Great acoustic, folky kind of stuff, dude, and just one of the many sides of that, man. But again, I'm ranking it. It's my number 7. It could be, I don't know, A, B, C, D. It could be 1F, you know, whatever, you know. So that's my number 7, man. Going to California. I love like when you watch the anybody. I'm sure a lot of people here have the Led Zeppelin DVD like that they put out like 15, 20 years ago already. 2003, I think it came out. So yeah, fucking 20 years ago, with all the compilations like them through the years and everything. When they do the 1975 tour, the Physical Graffiti tour, you know, they have that acoustic set like in the middle, and I love, you know, how they put that in there, and it was such a great. I remember getting that set, and I was like blown away. But I measure a lot of DVDs to that set, man. It's a great set. So, you know, I think there's a couple people frozen up here.
Me?
Andy looks like he's frozen up.
No,
I think I'm frozen. I'm just shocked at the answer.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's my number 7, man. So
number 7.
I love this song, man. It's not,
Yeah, good song.
and I don't skip it, and I don't do any of that shit, dude. I listen to it, but I'm ranking it.
Yeah, that's true. My number 7. So far I am going along with Joseph. Misty Mountain Hop is my number 7 as well. It's it doesn't have the vibe that fits this album. It sounds like it should go somewhere else. The vocals are back and forth. The music is just okay, so it doesn't fit Zeppelin 4. So that's my number 7. Number 6, Mark. How are you gonna? What's your number 6?
Well, this song it's a great song. It's got like great John Bonham drums going on, but it's like everybody and their mother covers this song. It's like there's better Zeppelin songs out there to cover. It's like even Farm Aid, Sammy and Eddie covered rock.
I knew you'd bring it up. Well,
yeah, I like Sammy, but the thing is, the song is played out for me. It always has, even from when I first heard it. Rock and roll, number 6.
What's your number 6, Jared?
again, one of the more popular songs on the radio, but not as good as the songs ahead of it. I'm gonna have to go with Black Dog. I love Black Dog. Great fucking song, great guitar riff. Well, from what I hear though, that was like very hard for them to play live for some reason. I don't know. There's a reason. I forget what it was all about. I remember reading something about Bonham had trouble with the.
I think it's like that with the weird rhythm.
Yeah,
the weird
signatures
pattern.
or whatever. Yeah, it was just weird, but and it's a great song, man, and I love it. But you know, like there's 5 more that are better than, in my opinion, on this album. But that's my number. What is that? 8, 7, 6. My number 6.
Yeah, this is where for me it started to get tough. I knew what my number 8 and 7 were going to be right off the top of my head. I think I decided that when I was 13 years old. Joseph, what's your number 6?
All right. So my number 6, before I reveal my number 6, I'd like to point out that Mark would skip 4 Sticks, but he owns a copy of Van Halen's Live Without a Net. The world is a cruel and unfair place. So my number 6 is 4 Sticks. I think it's a great track. This is where we're really starting to get into like having to separate some really great tracks here. For me, like everything that Jerry was saying about it, like Plant's vocals really shine through on this. Of course, along with Bonham's famous 4-stick playing. But yeah, it's all in all, it ends up on the lower half. But this is where we really start getting into songs that I really love.
Yeah, that's a good song. I remember being a kid watching Live Without a Net on MTV every Saturday night. They showed it every Saturday night. I had even recorded it on a VHS tape for the longest time. I loved it. Still do.
I used to have it on VHS when it first came out.
I just recorded it with the commercials. Kate, what's your number 6?
I've re-racked this like 3 times. I listened to this album 4 times in 48 hours. Going to California, originally named Guide to California. Great acoustic jam. I mean, this is awesome. It's obviously showing like the direction they can head in and different style that they're able to pull off, but it's great, but it's lower on my list, obviously.
Interesting. Brad, what's your number 6?
Jerry's about to have a freaking stroke up there.
Jerry, what's your number 1? Let's just get out of here.
I'm not giving you guys any spoilers, but there you go.
Right.
First of all, I want to know why Jimmy hasn't thrown out his 7th and 6th. Come on, Jimmy, get with the program. Okay, and I hope you're still there watching. I'm with Kate on this. I went with Going to California, and probably because there's no bass or drums on this one either. So there you go.
Jerry's about to leave, I guarantee it.
He's about to be frozen here.
You going to California?
Right.
I'm already here.
All right, Al. What's
Oh,
your number
all right.
6?
So my number 6, I'm going with Four Sticks. I love the jam, man. I think it's a great song, and again, you got to rank them. But I don't hate it like some. Not hate. I don't dislike it or rank it at the bottom. I think it's probably because there's not a burnout factor to the song.
Yeah.
You know. But you know, in the context of the album, it's my number 6. I love it though, man. I love the song. I love the riffs to it, and Jimmy's he's killing it on there, and whole band. Bonham, you know, Bonham is Bonham, dude. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
So that's my number 6. Four Sticks.
Yeah, my number 6. I wanted to put the song higher, and it was higher, but then when I kept on listening to the album, it started to get lower and lower and lower. So my number 6, I'm going to agree with Al and Joe. It's going to be Four Sticks. It's one of those songs that you listen to this album that you're so familiar with, but then a song sticks out that's never really stuck out to you before. That's what happened to me with Four Sticks recently. I guess because you don't hear it at all on the radio, and people really don't talk about it, and it just resonated with me recently. So Four Sticks.
Yeah, I've heard it on the radio a few times, but that's probably the song they least play on the radio from that
Yeah.
album. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is one
so-
off the top of my head, like all the songs I can name off the top of my head that are on this, because I know it's 8, and Four Sticks is always like not in my brain at all. Yeah.
The only one that I'm pretty sure on this album that I've never heard on the radio, whether it be FM radio or like Sirius XM, is Battle of Evermore. That's the only one
I've
I've
heard
never
it.
heard on the radio.
I've heard that here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never heard that one on the radio.
I've heard that, and I go, why?
I've
But,
heard that like on regular radio when I used to listen to regular radio.
Mhm.
Well, Brad, Jimmy got in gear here. He number 7, Battle of Evermore, and number 6, Rock and Roll.
Good job.
Hey, Jimmy's agreeing with Mark right now. Hey, Jimmy, you rule, brother.
Hey,
Jimmy needs some help. We love you, Jimmy.
all right, number 5. Go for it, Mark.
Number 5, I love this song, but you got to rank them, right? So,
Right.
Misty Mountain Hop, I like, over the hills where the spirits fly. And he goes, ooh. I just love that fucking harmony and shit that they're doing. And the it's just got, Jerry, it's got a groove. I love it. So that's my
We gotta
number
we
5.
gotta get a bell to start ringing every time he says that.
This is the first time I said this in an episode. This
Yeah,
song
you need a groove jar, man. Every time you say groove, put a fucking dollar in it, man.
A groove jar.
That or unprovoked brings up Sammy Hagar.
That's at least a 10 spot or a 20 spot when he does that. So
There
gotta
you
be
go
worth it.
again.
No.
Another dollar.
Another dollar, Mark.
Cha-ching.
There should be a drinking game associated with this.
That's what I was gonna say. At least drinking game does it cost?
We'd all,
Every
we'd all,
time
we'd all be
Mark
dead.
mentions-
We'd all be dead.
Sammy Hagar.
I want to keep my liver.
Yeah.
All right, number 5 for you, Jerry.
Yeah, this is where I'll put the Battle of Evermore. I love that song. I mean, I love Sandy Denny's vocal accompaniment with it. Everybody says that's JPJ with the mandolin, but it's actually Jimmy playing the mandolin on this one.
What was it called? The mandolin?
The mandolin, yeah. I said that. Who did I say was the baseball player? He's a great baseball player.
I forgot. Was that on the Soup episode?
Yeah, the guy from Blind Melon. We're doing Blind Melon. Like,
Shannon Hoon.
It's like that dude's a really great baseball player. No,
he was talking about the bassist, and he called him a baseball player.
Mandarin.
I like the Mandarin.
Yeah,
Mandarin.
Oranges. Yeah.
Well, that episode will be out in 10 weeks. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
10 weeks.
I love the song. Wow. So that's up a little further than you guys obviously have it. So that's my number 5.
5. All right, Joe, what do you got?
All right, so I'll pick for my number 5 one that I know Jerry's already mentioned, and that is Black Dog. Another one that you hear constantly on the radio. This is one of the only ones that I am a little bit burned out on. Still love the song. Yeah, like Jerry was saying, one they really had a hard time playing live just because, especially when they come in from the a cappella part right into, they have to be on it. And a lot of the times they weren't able to really match that downbeat, and then they kind of got off the rhythm a little bit. But for being able to nail it in the studio, it sounds great. But yeah, this is where it's getting really hard to start ranking some of these songs. So I'm excited to see how everybody else's list shakes out here. There's been some surprises so far, but I know there's a couple songs no one's mentioned yet, and I'm surprised that no one's picked the controversial option to throw one of those 2 songs down at the bottom of their list.
Kate.
What's your I went with Rock and Roll. Like you guys said, it's kind of played out. I mean, it's fucking iconic is all get out, but you've heard it a million times. But this intro, like Bonham writes this intro, and then Ian Stewart's playing piano. I mean, it's a great track. I don't want to discredit how great it is, but played out. Classic rock radio has this way of playing things ad nauseum to the point that you stop even enjoying the song, or like Brad said, he's played this song so many times he can't enjoy it anymore. So it's one of those kind of things, which great song, just overplayed, but it's 5.
Brad, what's your number 5?
Yeah.
I just realized something that Kate said. I think the real reason I don't really like rock and roll that much is because most of the people I've played it with weren't really good. If I played it with really good musicians, it might
be good.
Yeah, and I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody else.
It's one of those drunken people just butcher the shit out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, Brad, if you're up there on stage playing this song with Sammy Hagar, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it.
You know what?
That's probably why they opened with it, because they could shred it before they got too wasted or too loaded or whatever. And then they're like, this has to go out first.
Rock and Roll was like almost second to last song on this.
She's talking about Zeppelin, though, I think.
I know.
I'm talking about Zeppelin.
She's talking about a real band, Mark. A real band.
Oh, you brought up Van Hagar, so there you go.
I'll tell you what. If Sammy asked me to play bass with him and Jason Bonham was on the drums and they wanted to play rock and roll, it would be the best I've ever played.
You'd be down.
I would be so into it. I would. Yeah, I just say don't play Battle of Evermore because. Yeah.
You're not playing.
Okay, so I lost count here. So I changed my 4 and 5. I had 4 sticks at 4 because of 4 sticks, but I moved it to 5 now after I've been thinking about things. Jimmy, by the way, you're awesome, and your number 1 has kind of swayed me a bit here. So 4 sticks, and it's funny because I never knew that the 4 sticks was Bonham playing with 4 sticks.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, as I listened to the song over and over, I'm like, holy crap, I'm trying to figure out what the drums are doing there. I'm like, yeah, if anybody asked me to play drums on this song, I'd be like, no No way.
Yeah.
I can play a bass on it, no problem. I'm cool with the 5/4 stuff. It's funny though. I think the main riff there almost sounds like the good old days. Well, modern days for you guys, where the record would skip. It kind of sounds like that. It's kind of it sounds just like a record skipping during that. I actually like the I don't know if it's a bridge because who knows where that bridge is, but the other part of the song that gets kind of moody, and I think that part's really really cool. And I think there's some babies in there, which I don't. Did Robert Plant actually invent the baby thing? The three babies, because
I feel like
blues.
there's some Motown in there, or blues.
I would think
Blues,
that's like
Motown.
old blues,
James Brown,
like
James Brown.
1930s.
Yeah, like Robert
Old
Johnson
blues.
Yeah.
Well, I think
well, maybe
I
he
think-
didn't invent it, but he perfected it. Okay?
I think he took that from James Brown, though.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'm gonna have to go listen to James Brown now. But anyway, so there's four sticks is 5. Do the math.
Al, which way are you going here?
All right, my number 5. I'm going with the Battle of Evermore. I like that song a lot. For me, I love the version, and I'm sure most of you guys know, on a single soundtrack, The Lovemongers, which is basically Ann and Nancy Wilson with Heart.
Yep.
The Lovemongers version, I love their version of it, where her and Ann and Nancy are trading off. I think that's an awesome version. To me, that's like, I love that version probably better than the Zeppelin version, but I do love the Zeppelin version. I love Sandy Denny's voice on there complimenting Robert's voice, and they're back and forth and stuff. And I don't know. I always love that song. I love the lyrical content of it. I was always a Tolkien fan, so it's right up my alley. So, and again, it's another side of Zeppelin, real mystical, kind of folky, stuff. And they really touched on Tolkien a lot, but they loved it. I mean, Robert, probably read a lot of those books, so so that's my number 5, Battle of Evermore. But the Lovemongers version's awesome, man. Check that one out.
The great soundtrack too.
Yeah, revisit the single soundtrack. One of my favorite soundtracks.
Yeah, it's a really good soundtrack.
It's so good.
I like the movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I saw Heart, they actually did that. So
Yeah.
they do it really well.
The soundtrack's better than the movie, though.
I like
The movie grew on me. It did. I didn't like it at first.
It got better after every watch. It's like I like Matt Dillon, dude. He's awesome.
It's definitely a period piece, It's that moment in time, that Seattle thing,
And you got like Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell.
But
I
thought
it was pretty cool.
But I love the soundtrack that it just goes kind of. It's not just grunge. It's like Jimi Hendrix is on there. Lovemongers and
the Pumpkins.
Yeah, it's great, man. Great soundtrack.
Man, the way that they ended with "Drown," man, that's a hell of a song.
I traded that soundtrack for Fleetwood Mac "Rumors" back in the day. By the way,
it's worth so much more money now.
I was going to say. Now you can get Rumors for $5 anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I got ripped off. Yeah,
yep.
But I love Rumors. But
go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, my next one. Geez, I am really mirroring Joseph here.
Are we 4 for 4 here, Andy?
Yeah, really, we are. Well, I'm going to the Black Dog here. Is my pick on here. It's a great song. I love it, but it's got to go somewhere, and that's where I placed it. It's actually a great song to kick off the album, but there's so many more great tracks on here. So on to number 4. Jimmy Schwartz has Misty Mountain as his number 4. What's your number 4, Mark?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Black Dog. Like, and hey, mama said the way you move. The fucking vocals by fucking. But I agree with you. There's like 3 more better songs on here than this song. If our number 1 doesn't match, it's gonna be weird.
I think we have the same top 3, Mark.
I think we probably have this, but Black. Well, I don't think maybe. I don't know. Black Dog just Black Dog
top 3 yet.
Black Dog rules, man. I just love that song. It's like written about a black dog outside of the studio. That's a cool story. Let's call the song Black Dog. So I love that fucking album.
And
Best
nowhere
song.
in the song is there a mention of a
Black
Oh my
Dog.
God,
I
yeah.
know, right?
There's quite a few Zeppelin songs that don't have the title in the
Yeah.
song.
Yep.
Jerry, what's your number 4?
Yeah, I'll put in Misty Mountain Hop in this spot right here. Again, another fucking great song. I think that's another Tolkien reference too, ain't it?
Yep.
Misty Mountain Hop.
Yep.
I know nothing about him. I mean, when I was managing Burger King, they'd come out with the Lord of the Rings stuff. Remember that? The toys. That's the first time I ever heard of Lord of the Rings, by the way, when that came out.
Ah,
I knew nothing about-
man.
But now that
So good.
my daughter's really big into Tolkien, so
It's
I got
so
to
good.
find out where all these lyrics were coming from, especially like Ramble On and stuff like that, you know,
Yeah.
we're talking about Gollum and shit like that. So
Yeah.
it was kind of cool figuring out where that came from. But anyway, the song itself, Misty Mountain Hop, I fucking love it, man. I think it's about some kind of fucking police bust or something on drugs or
Yeah.
something. I can't remember what
It
it's
kind
about.
of sounds like about Woodstock a little bit, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I love the way it sounds, man.
Oh,
I know who was it that said they didn't like the way it goes
Oh.
walking in the park. Just
I know, man.
I
His
love it. I think
vocals.
I love that part. So
What do you think I
What do
sound?
that's so.
Yeah.
But that's my number 4. I think that's one of the better songs on the album.
Joseph, what's your number 4?
Well, I'm interested now because both Mark and Jerry and I all have the same 3 songs we have not mentioned yet. So I'm interested to see what order we put them in. So that would mean that my number 4 is Rock and Roll. Amazing track. It's iconic for a reason, right from the drum intro. This is one I will never get tired of. I love the track. It's like everyone said, it's a straight ahead rocker, really bringing in that vibe. It's one that I always enjoy listening to. I don't listen to really the radio much anymore, so over the past couple of years, there's been a lot of songs that I used to be burned out on that I'm not really that burned out on anymore. And so it's really great to be able to go back and listen to this again and not be as burned out as I used to be on some of these songs. So, so my number 4 is Rock and Roll.
Exactly. I used to get so burnt out on Stevie Ray Vaughan here on the radio and Skinner all the time. And then when I stopped listening to the radio and I started either listening to stream or whatever, and then I love to pull that stuff out just to just hear it. It's so good. Just got burnt out of stuff. So
I basically stopped listening to the radio when I got my own cassettes or vinyl or CDs because I programmed my own shit. Especially when I had a car and I just put in my CDs. I stopped listening to terrestrial radio at that time.
Hey, what's your number 4?
I went with Misty Mountain Hop. Like I said, Tolkien, fucking king. I love The Hobbit, and this one's a jam. Like, oh my god, it's such a good song. The way it progresses and that matching, the vocal tone matching of how the song goes in those parts, I love that. Oh, so good.
With the soaring music and
Oh man,
yeah,
so good.
Yeah.
Such a genius way to progress a song. I know he doesn't like. Who said that? Joe. Joseph didn't like that. Like, it's so good. I don't know. I love
Not
it.
a
I think
fan.
it's so cool. But it's such a different sound. Like, imagine how many other rock albums came out at this time, and you have like Aqualung, which is super fucking off the rails weird in 71. Like Hunky Dory 71, Sticky Fingers, like all these other rock albums. Doors LA Woman 71. Like, this is such a crazy year for rock music, and then this is one of the best-selling albums of all time. Like, I don't know. Zeppelin's always going to be up there for me. It always does it for me, and especially this is like probably my favorite. I have to say probably it is my favorite Zeppelin album. So I don't know. I'm good. Brad, what's your number 4?
Okay, well, I like that this will be the first time this song is mentioned. So I get to break the ice on this.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of breaking, it's When the Levee Breaks. And I think the reason it didn't go higher for me is probably because of radio. Not that I listen to a lot of radio, but if you're in like Home Depot or something, This is one of them songs that you're just going to hear over and over and over. And I love the drums on this song. They're so big, and I'm going to try not to say the G word, but as I listen to this, I'm like, God, there's only one guy that I really feel captures this kind of vibe on the drums, and that's Vinny Appice. I mean, Al, you're going to be with me on this, right? I mean, Vinny just lays it so heavy on the kick and the snare. I mean, there's something about the way he pushes it, and this song is exactly what I'm talking about. The drums are just fantastic. So,
Yeah, Vinny,
number 4.
Vinny definitely has a Bonham-esque vibe, definitely. Yeah, he's from that Bonham school.
He does, but he doesn't. His fills are so weird,
Yeah,
he has these big, long, weird fills. But his groove is just. I said the G word. It's so in there.
Yeah, swear jar.
Dollar.
What about Cozy Pal? I thought he had that kind of groove too. Or
it's a little different. A little different.
I don't hear that with Cozy. Cozy.
How about Frankie Banali too? Kind of.
No.
All these guys are influenced obviously by Bonham, but they don't have that kind of feel that you're just with the kick and the snare. It's really tough to do. And anyway,
the way I always describe Bonham.
Yeah, as I listen to the song, I'm like, okay. I mean, when I play the drums, I'm always thinking of, God, I want to try to get that kind of groove in there. There you go. So, yeah, Al.
No, Joe, go ahead. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
The way I always kind of describe Bonham's drumming is, it always feels like he is at the very front of the beat. Like he is. If you're subdividing a beat, he is at the very front of it.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And the snare, it's always at the very front of the beat. It's like you said, pushing it forward.
Yeah. He just drives it, and this song is the perfect example of that. So
yeah, it is.
Thanks for getting that, Joseph. Appreciate it. Okay.
Wow. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is going to be Misty Mountain Hop. I love everything about the song. There's nothing I really dislike about it. I love, I love John Paul Jones. Is that a clavinet that he plays at the beginning? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Not clavinet, just kind of a keyboard, right? Huh?
I'm trying to think of the word.
It's not a clavinet, but it's kind of a keyboard, and then Jimmy comes in with the riff following the keyboard, and then I just love when the guitar comes in, the riff, man, and kind of it's awesome, man. I love the way it sounds and everything. And Bonham is awesome on that. I mean, the whole band is great. And again, the Tolkien references. And, Misty Mountain that's really the only Tolkien. I think it's just the title. But somebody was saying it's about like a pot rally or something like that. I guess that's what it's kind of about. So
yeah.
So lyrically, I know it's cool, man. It's just so Zeppelin, dude. It's whatever, man. I mean, and again, it's a whole other facet of their style. I mean, they covered so much ground on this album, man. I mean,
they really did.
They covered so much ground on albums previous to this too. But I felt with Zeppelin 3, like they really brought in that acoustic influence and just kind of carried over to this album. And then, I just love it, man. I'm Misty Mountain Hops my number 4.
My number 4. This is the first time that that Joseph and I are not on the same page. So my number 4 is going to be, along with Brad, "When the Levee Breaks."
Mm-hmm.
It's a great track. I love the heavy-handedness of Bonham and the great harmonica work by Plant, and his strained vocals sound great. But yeah, I'm going to go with number 4. Is going to be "When the Levee Breaks." Number 3, Jimmy Schwartz has "Black Dog." What do you got, Mark?
Number 3,
Yep.
I seen Jerry going like this on this fucking song every time somebody had it really low. Jerry, I got it in the top 3, dude. I'm with you on this one. So
getting closer.
Going to California, man. I love this fucking song. It's just a cool song. Sit there and have fucking bong rips, sip some whiskey too. and just turn off the lights and melt in your chair to this song. This is fucking, it's like so relaxing. It's just so well played. I just love going to California. I even though I hate hippies, I like this song.
Okay.
You sound like Cartman. I hate you fucking hippies.
Oh, you know I hate the hippies. How many times
Yeah,
have I said that?
but you also hate the hippie repellent too. So the Slayer CD.
Okay, cool.
All right, Jerry, what's your number 3?
Crying won't help you. Praying won't do you no good. Definitely when the levee breaks, man. What a song that is, dude. Now, if I remember right about this song, I think they actually recorded the drums like in the lobby of the studio to get that cool sound from it. I think, if I'm
Stairwell.
The kind of echoey sound.
not mistaken on that.
Like a
But what a fuck-
singing up
but-
a staircase.
yeah. I mean, it's an incredible tune. The harmonica by Plant, like Andy said, man, it's just fucking amazing. Here's my dollar. Where's the groove jar? The groove of it's just fucking awesome. I mean, so yeah, that's my number 3.
But what is music without a groove?
Right, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
It's the Battle of Evermore.
Oh, good one.
Shots
That
fired.
was my number 7, so that was pretty low. I agree with you on that one. So
All right, Joe, what's your number 3? Yeah.
Jerry and I are right on the same page for this one. I mean, When the Levee Breaks, great song. As I like to call it, Kashmir version 1. Has that kind of what the early seeds of what would become Kashmir a few years later. Some of that kind of similar tempo and driving to it. Equally great song in my opinion. Everything that everybody said so far about this song, I completely agree with. Bottom's drumming really driving it forward, the harmonica, and just the kind of sense of foreboding throughout this song. It really, really hits. It's a great way to close the album, in my opinion. I think it's a really, really great way to kind of wrap it all up. So that's my number 3 is When the Levee Breaks.
Kate, what's your number 3?
Ooh, it might be a very unpopular opinion, but I had to go with Stairway.
Ooh, no, I'm just kidding.
Get this broad out of here.
I know.
Hey, Jerry, you hired her.
I mean, this just like obviously killer, amazing track. One of the most iconic rock songs of all time. Probably one of the most covered rock songs of all time. Page on that Telecaster, man, come on. But that thinking about it when they do it live, and it's like, oh, he has to do a double neck Gibson EDS to even play it, so you get the sound. But it's, I don't know, done in 3 takes. They pick the best of 3 takes. Like, come on, ridiculous. It's an amazing song, and like I said, this is one of my favorite Zepp albums ever. So it's really hard to put that at number 3, but here we are. I don't know.
Good pick. What's your number 3, Brad?
Yeah, first of all, I have to say, Jimmy, thanks for that recommendation about Beware My Love. I've queued that up on YouTube. I'm going to check it out right after the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. My number 3. Was it number 3 already?
Number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 3 is Misty Mountain Hop. And, you know, it's a fun song to play. Okay, I just love playing that song. I never get tired of it. And also, we have to thank them for inspiring Devo to write Uncontrollable Urge.
great song.
That's definitely inspired by this song. So, and I've played that song a lot too, and it's great stuff. This is just
Jerry don't like Devo. There you go.
That's a great song, though, man.
What if Sammy Hagar sang with Devo?
It would
You
still
don't
suck
like
even
Sammy
more.
Hagar.
That would suck even more.
Well, Jerry don't like Oingo Boingo, so I know he doesn't like Devo. So
I don't like sexual predators.
Oh, shut up.
You got to draw a line somewhere.
Wait, we gotta say, like, if you're gonna bring that up, how many classic rock guys are groomers and sexual predators?
I'm just joking with Mark.
Yeah, we're talking about Zeppelin here, bro.
Yeah, Jimmy Page kidnapped a girl for 3 days. I mean, come on.
They were
All right, Al, get us back on track.
they weren't forerunners and that stuff, but they perfected it.
Al got to see a groomer live on stage last night.
Oh
so.
well, there you go. There's another one.
A lot of them. It's a lot of them.
Yeah, let's just say in the 70s, a lot of cheeks were turned on this kind of behavior. You know what I mean? So, if you,
Oh my god! On the Turning Away. I don't know.
what's that one, Joe? I didn't see it, man.
It was Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
Polanski. Ooh.
All right, so my number 3 is gonna be Black Dog. I'm not burnt out on this song. I love the song. I mean, it's just Jimmy Page had like his riff-tastic best. You know, I mean, just a riff master on this one. And if you notice, if you ever listen to it on headphones, and you listen to the start-stop of the song, you can actually hear Bonham do a stick click to get the band, I guess, back into the quote unquote groove of the song. You know?
Well, that's the only way to describe it.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I remember, you know, like hearing it on headphones, and right before they go into, like, you know, when Bonham comes back in, he'll do a quick like stick hit and then goes right in, you know, back into the drum, you know, into the song, into the verses or whatever you want, you know. And I always found that interesting. And when they go back into the acapella part, he does another stick hit, you know. It just, I don't know. I guess it's good. I guess it was good for recording purposes. You know, were they playing live in the studio for that? Probably, you know. And you know, and then Page, I guess, would do all his overdubs and all that stuff. But I'm sure they laid down a bed track that was live, you know.
Yeah.
And which I love. That's why I love like albums of the 60s, 70s. That's why they sound so great for me, man. And we're touching back on the production style that Brad touched on earlier. I mean, you can have all the technology nowadays, but the albums will never breathe like they do. I think bands are, you know, because now, I mean, back then it was like 16 track, 32 track, whatever. By 1971, it was probably like 32 track already, maybe. I don't know if it was even that yet. It might have just been 16 track, right?
Yeah.
2024 came. I'll have to look it up, but I think it was
Okay.
the 80s even.
Yeah.
Then,
Okay. So
then when people started running them together to multiply like 24 and two 24 track machines, that was the 80s. But
I've always loved the production. Andy knows this. I always loved the production side of stuff. And again, Jimmy Page does not get the credit he deserves as a producer, man. These albums sound incredible. It's because of him, you know, his ideas. And I know Andy Johns and everything, they engineered and helped him out, but Jimmy Page is the producer. So and
it's mixing too. I mean, you gotta, you know,
what's that?
The mixing is so important in this album.
Yeah, the mixing. Yeah. Everything just sounds so.
It's a great sounding album.
Yeah, like you were saying, everything sounds like in place, even when you have like 5 or 6 guitars. Because you know, Page was notorious for overdubbing a lot of guitars. His guitar army, as he called it.
Oh
but everything sounds in place. Everything breathes. Like when you listen on headphones, you can, you know, now everything is just so compressed. But going back to the whole track thing, you know, now with digital recording, you can have 178 tracks, whatever. And I think bands are compelled to like fill up all these tracks. They put each drum like on a track, or it just gets a little too congested.
It's too muddy. You get too much going on, and there's no separation. And
it's congestion. Like, it gets too congested with wanting to fill up all tracks and all that stuff.
Rick Rubin?
For anyone that's listening that doesn't really understand, like, it's kind of getting lost with what we're talking about right now, a great way to visualize what we're talking about with production and the way that really the differences between how things used to be produced with how they are now. If you go on and you look at like a sound wave generator, and you take a song like something off this album, even a remaster of it, and you look at what the sound wave produced from that song is, and you take a song from maybe the last 5 or 10 years, especially like a pop song. With that Led Zeppelin song, you're going to see a lot of space. You're going to see a lot of highs and lows. You're going to see a lot of ebbs and flows in there. You're going to see something that looks kind of like almost like an EKG. Like you're going to see something that's like has a lot of space in it. It has a lot of ups and downs. If you look at a song that's been produced in the last 5 or 10 years with this really compressed, kind of gated style, you're going to see a big blue rectangle. You're going to see some tiny little triangles missing out of it. You're going to see almost no space. You're going to see almost no discernible sound waves. You're going to see no ups and downs. It's all so compressed and so tight. And like you guys said, there's no space for anything. It's so full and it's so muddy. You look at those sound waves, it's easy to see kind of what we're talking about, where everything had a chance to breathe and everything had a chance to have its space. The way things are produced now, even bands from the old days, you look at something like Mark kind of said, Rick Rubin. You look at something like Metallica's Death Magnetic. The production is god awful. You look at the production of that; it is compressed to hell and back. And you look at a Soundwave generator for Metallica's Death Magnetic, it would just be a big blue rectangle. There'd be no discernible space.
You get the iTunes version of it; it's a lot better.
Yeah,
I agree.
I want to point out that records sound like this. It's not because of production. It's because of mastering.
Yes.
This is the mastering phase we're talking about. The last thing that's done to an album before it goes out into to be sold is the mastering. And these mastering engineers produce master these records hot, where it's like they slam everything, no dynamics, because what they do this for is for radio play. When it goes into radio, when a song gets played on the radio, they want it to be loud. They want it to capture whoever's like listening to radio from the next song. They want it to be louder than the song previous to it. That's why. And you know who was like really the culprit of this, and they're notorious for really kind of starting this brick walling kind of thing, is actually and Charles Trainor's going to love this one. Oasis. They were the ones that had the mastering engineers master these things where like they slammed everything to the limit, because they wanted to be louder than everybody else. If you go back to before Oasis, albums weren't as loud as it was. Try listening to an Oasis album and you get ear fatigue halfway through the album.
That's why I can't listen to a whole album.
I can't listen to a lot of albums when albums are mastered that way.
Yeah, I can't.
It's just too much. It's just too much on your audio, like your ears, man. So
the two newer producers I like is Nick Raskulinecz and Dave Cobb. They really are phenomenal producers.
Again, they produce albums well, but some of those Foo Fighters albums got blasted in the fucking mastering stage.
Exactly.
Dude. If they go back and remaster some of these albums and bring back the dynamics, I bet you they would sound phenomenal. You know what I mean? So. I know we're getting off on a tangent here now, but I love production stuff like that. So anyway,
but we got to shout out. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
Also, you even hear it a lot with like bands that are not even necessarily remastering, but remixing a lot of times their catalog.
Yeah.
The Genesis remixes from like 2007, the stereo remixes, got so much flack for brickwalling the sound of those albums.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Megadeth's especially. But like the Genesis, because a lot of Genesis fans are like hardcore audiophiles.
Yeah.
And it's all you see on like some of those like forums online is like a lot of these Genesis fans will refuse to buy those mixes, even though to a lot of people there's no discernible difference unless it's like actually pointed out to you. But like you have said, Al, you'll just naturally get ear fatigue and you'll get these kind of things even though you're not realizing it. And if you compare it to a different version of the same album, you'll hear it every day.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my number 3, Black Dog. We got off at the tangent here.
Hey, you got more comments on that subject, so pretty cool, man.
But we got to shout out, like, a good producer can take something that is that ear fatigue or like too much going on, like a muddy, like think of grunge where it's like everything is kind of muddy, but somebody like Butch Vig can have it still sound incredible. Like
Yeah.
he's
I agree.
that's like you guys were saying Rick Rubin's and that, and like Page, obviously insane, amazing producer, but like Butch Vig, where it's like the whole genre is muddy. How you were saying that word, like I know that's like such a cliche of it, but it is in grunge music. But that, what an incredible brain to be able to take that and split it and separate it to get it to sound good, where you have like Nirvana or Pumpkins or Sonic Youth or something, and it's still incredible. And if you listen to one of those, and it's just such an amazing moment
Well,
in time, kind of in music history, that he is so good at what he
let's
did.
go real quick to Nirvana's Nevermind. I heard that. I always read in interviews that Kurt Cobain actually hated the production of that album. He said it was too slick.
It's just so crazy to me because it's so good. And those split ups of like, have you ever watched that? What documentary was it? It was some Nirvana doc, and they interview Butch, and he's like talking about that, like hello, and getting it to sound that way, and different stuff where he's like, hey, like Cobain, why don't you go lay on a couch and sing this really low when you're laying down, and we'll see how the sound is. And that's like fucking when we're talking about like Stairway and talking about different stuff, or like When the Levee Breaks, when it has those weird like kind of wavy sounding vocals, like they're recording him when he's like up a staircase to get that weird sound. And just people who think in a different way of like thinking outside the box of like how we should set this track down, and then we're gonna get it, it just blows my mind when somebody can think in that way. Like, I want this different sounding thing, and we're gonna do it in a certain way and see what happens.
Well,
kind of like what you
that just goes back to the old style of recording. You actually used the studio itself was an instrument.
It is.
How you place the mics, how you
where everything is set.
Yeah.
You want something weird, you put this against a wall and sing up against a wall, or
Whereas now, like Pro Tools, people just dial up sounds, and that's why everything sounds sterile.
It's just so overproduced and so artificial and fake, because it's electronics doing it instead of actually being done in a way. Like these guys were so brilliant, just incredible. I mean, just something totally different.
Anyway, let's continue, Andy. You didn't even get
I did.
Yeah, but y'all were talking about the grunge movement of the early '90s and the great Butch Vig. But also, even though it was so dirty and grungy, it was also a very wide landscape.
Mm-hmm.
The landscape was still very wide then, because it was produced by human, and it just sounds so great. It still sounds so great, and now
so good.
You're so right. The soul has been taken out of music. Even we were big pop fans of '80s and going into the '90s. Today, it sounds like everything's done by one producer, and they go and they pick a pretty face and put that pretty face in front of this lame ass beat. That's just all that pop music has turned into, and it's a shame. So my number 3 is I'm going to go with Rock and Roll. I know that a lot of y'all already talked about the song, but to me, it's still a song that sticks out to me quite well. I'm not that musically inclined, so like when Brad plays it, it's simple for him to play. But for me, it just celebrates the whole rock and roll genre. I know that one of y'all had mentioned about the Chuck Berry feel. Well, yeah, it's a celebration of rock and roll, and so I'm getting the message of it's been a long time since I rock and roll. Really let loose, and that's what was happening in the late '60s. It was just getting where maybe rock and roll wasn't as fun, but being more of a I don't want to say a chore, but it was starting to get very serious. And then they brought the fun back, so that's why I like that song Rock and Roll a lot. Okay, number 2, we got Jimmy Swartz already picked up Stairway to Heaven at number 2. So go ahead.
Here's number 2.
What do you got?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Well, you know, I am most illin and I'm rhyming and stealing. Oh wait, no, I mean when the levee breaks.
Wait, do we have a fine jar for him trying to drop rhymes on us?
Hey, it's
We
the
have
same
like
beat.
10 different
It's the
fine
same-
jars at the same time.
We're gonna pay for this Black Spinner Airbnb by our fine jars.
Right.
Oh shit. Oh man, I gotta start saving money then. But Rickett, I love this, man.
It's all going to be Mark.
Shut up. Hey,
Mark's
what's
got
wrong
the
with
down payment.
Pimpin' the Beastie Boys, man? Beastie Boys rule. And they took this beat
And they do.
and this fucking beat fucking
Yeah.
rules. This
Yeah.
this fucking song rules. It's like mixed with an old blues standard with their own little type of like interpretation of it.
Mhm.
It's just fucking amazing. I love this fucking song. It's just Robert Plant's voice is just so godly on it. You can feel the pain of the fucking levee's gonna fucking break.
Mhm.
Fucking amazing song. That's my number 2.
All right.
Jerry, what's your number 2, man?
My number 2 is probably. It's gonna be weird for me saying this because it's the number 2 song because it's not. It's one of the best songs ever written. Period. I mean, and it got to be kind of a joke for a while, especially in the mid '90s because of Wayne's World and shit
Wayne's
like that.
World.
But man, when you sit back and realize what a fucking great song that is from start to finish, man.
It's crazy.
I mean, there could be a burnout factor or whatever, but you cannot deny what a fucking brilliant tune that is.
No,
Man.
it's no stairway denied.
And if you ever fucking go up to Robert, if you ever go up and you meet Robert Plant, don't say these 4 words. Does anybody remember laughter? Don't ever say that to him. He will. He does not like that. He's still embarrassed by that today. He keeps because he hates when people see him and they go, "Does anybody remember laughter?" It says he just wants to punch him. But
You
it's a
should
great.
be happy, man. They love him.
It's so iconic because of that song remains the same album. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it is. But Robert Plant's he's had a couple of things he's not happy about with that, but well, quite a few things actually if you hear him in his interviews. But yeah, but what an amazing song "Stairway to Heaven" is, dude. I mean, come on. So, I mean, it's better than my number 1, but it's not better. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to explain it, but
It's not your preferred number 1.
but there's no denying. I mean, what a great. I mean, it's songs like "Dream On" by Aerosmith. Yeah, they're overplayed, but they're fucking just brilliant tunes, man. They really are, man.
Yeah.
And Stairway is just will live forever, man. It's gonna be one of those songs that never goes away.
And,
That's my number 2.
And I'm speaking of Robert Plant. He's touring this summer with Alison Krauss. But it's going to be on several dates. He's going to be with Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan.
I'm so excited.
Well, he's on that Outlaw Festival. Right?
Outlaw.
Yeah, the Outlaw Festival. So that'd be cool to see so many iconic singers all in one night. Or
As long as he's not doing bluegrass, I'd watch that.
well, he's going to be doing bluegrass because that's what he
With
does.
Alison Krauss.
Oh God! No,
That's
you
what he
guys
loves.
enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, that's
I got that
Oh,
CD
man.
because he was on it. And I listened to it. I go, oh God, this sucks. But go ahead.
well, that's what he is now.
Yeah.
That's what he enjoys.
Yeah,
doing.
actually, he has a home in Nashville. So,
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
All right, Joseph, what's your number 2, man?
Alrighty. So, much like Jerry, I fully realize that my number 2 is a better song than number 1. But when I tell the story of why my number 1 is my number 1, you'll understand. I was thinking earlier today when I was listening to this album, how many other songs that have been proclaimed as the greatest song of all time truly are? And very few of them that I can think of truly are one of the greatest songs of all time, like Stairway to Heaven is. There's a lot of the songs that people proclaim as the greatest song of all time that I can't fucking stand. That are just, I hate the songs. Stairway to Heaven is one of the few. And the other one, and the reason I pulled out the album I pulled out earlier, is Freebird. I truly believe that Freebird is another one of the legitimate greatest songs of all time, and I will never get tired of that song, much like I'll never get tired of Stairway.
That's solo.
the solo. I mean, even this before the solo, the song itself going
Yeah.
into the solo. But those are two of the examples that I can think of as songs that are widely proclaimed by popular media to be some of the greatest songs of all time, that I legitimately agree with them. There's a lot of songs people will throw out on lists that are either by artists that I don't like because it's just like media darlings, or songs that I never want to hear again in my entire life. Like people that go out and try to say that "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey is one of the greatest songs of all time, and I never want to hear that song ever again.
I mean, it's a good song, but
Song,
is it one?
yeah.
Is it? It's not even close to being one of their best.
That's
Don't
one
tell
that
me you don't
that's
sing
one that
along with it. You don't
that's
sing
one that
along
you,
with
that's
it.
one that you always hear thrown out as like, oh, popular media who does not know anything about music proclaim that to be one of the greatest songs of all time, and I would never put it even in my top
No, I agree with you on
500.
that.
I was,
But like
Hell
these are some
no.
of the songs when I thought of Stairway to Heaven, and I realized I will never get tired of this song, and I just thought back, boy, this really is one of those songs that lives up to the hype for me.
it really does. It goes through so many emotions and so many different guitar parts musically. It goes up, it goes down. It's emotional. It 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 brings you euphoria and then brings you back down. It's a great song.
Yep.
I mean, there's no doubt about "Stairway to Heaven" being a great song. Um, Kate, what's your number two?
I went with Black Dog. Mark mentioned this, named after a dog at Hetty Grange. Hanging out during recording. But they never mentioned dog. He said that, right? I'm big on bookends, so this opening an album and closing an album, if you can pull that off right, that makes it so much better. And this, like, what a way to kick off an album. I mean, it's just a ridiculous song to kick off this album. And then if I didn't leave a little tidbit of a hint of what my top song is going to be, but yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it a lot. Black Dog, killer track, iconic. What more can I say?
Good song.
How many times are we going to take a shot for iconic?
Right.
That's our other swear jar.
Yep. Brad, what's your number two?
I'm with Kate. Number two is Black Dog. It's a song that I think through my life we've made a lot of fun of it because you can kind of do that with this song. But I got to tell you something. There was a band, some guys that, about the same time, one of my first band in the 70s, and I went and saw them play. And I mean, these are kids, 16, 17-year-olds, and they played Black Dog at opening their set. And they nailed it. I was just like, holy crap. I mean, if you play this song and you play it well, you're going to rule the world. I mean, it was like from that point on, everybody was just totally in on this band, no matter what they played. It's just, yeah. If you can do this song and do it well, you're going to be the king of the night. It's interesting that you guys said that Zeppelin never really played it well. Yeah, the drums are fantastic, and yeah, it ended up being number two for me. So there you go. Al.
All right, Al, what's your number two, man?
All right, my number two is going to be what drummers strive their drum sound for all the time. It's one of the most sampled fucking drum intros ever, like Mark mentioned before. And it's one of Levy Breaks, man. I mean, this is the benchmark of drum sounds on albums. And you know, they recorded at Headley Grange and they recorded it in the stairwell. And then I think Andy Johns added some sort of like cool like compression to it or something like that. And it's just fucking, dude, how can you go better? It's like I said, man, drummers strive for this drum sound. You know, it's the benchmark, of drum sounds. And whereas a lot of 70s drummers had more of a boxy kind of, dry, drum sound. I mean, this was just big and just bombastic and just awesome. And I think the only other drum, for me, another drum sound that rivals this drum sound is Eric Carr's drums on Creatures of the Night. That's like another
Great
drummer's dream album sound. You know, like that. I mean, I think Eric really, because he was such a Bonham fan. I mean, he was so pleased with that album, and I can see why. You know, I mean, it's just a phenomenal drum sound. I mean, when you listen to that on a big stereo with like great speakers, man, it just rips your head off, dude.
In my car, man. Yeah, fuck, that album rules, man.
I would listen to that on an Alpine, my Alpine stereo with two 12-inch subs in my car with, you know, like, pumping out I don't know how many watts. You know, you can hear me coming down like 10 blocks away.
All the seals on your windows are broken.
I got a big fucking 12-inch box in my car right now, man. It fucking bumps. My wife hears me coming down the street. I got to make sure the radio's turned down before I go to work in the morning because I'll wake her up.
But I just love the hypnotic quality of like the song, you know, just that drum, the Bonham drum beat that just kind of it just all through the song. It never really changes, but it just drives the song, and everybody else follows, and I just love it. It's my number 2. So when the levee breaks, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, my number 2 is going to be Going to California. It's a great song. It's so beautifully written, word for word, note for note. It's one of the most beautifully written songs that I can think of. And the acoustics is great. Every time I hear the song, I can picture this going through my head. You know, the king and queen, and it doesn't. It's just a great song. It's beautiful, and it fits perfect in this album. It's the perfect song for this album, and it could be number 1, but something so much better. So my number 2 is going to be Going to California. All right, guys, we're up to number 1. Jimmy's number 1 was When the Levee Breaks. Now, 3, 4, 2, 1, go. Mark, what's your number 1?
Well, like everybody keeps saying, this is one of the greatest songs ever written. It is, but it's not the greatest song ever written. That is A Day in a Life by the Beatles. But this is fucking up there with it for me. Stairway to Heaven, man. This song I always like when a song starts off fucking acoustic and all of a sudden it just builds and just goes fucking just kicks you in the ass and it ends slow. My God, this is one of the perfect fucking songs ever. Fucking my favorite bands do this. Rush, fucking, they do this shit and I fucking love it, man. Stairway to Heaven. Not the greatest song ever written. That's A Day in a Life by the Beatles, but this is right there with it.
Interesting take. All right, Jerry, what's your number 1 for this album?
How about turn your fucking
the big moment, Jerry.
Jerry, you're on mute.
Mooger Fooger, turn on your mic.
Jerry, we can't hear. Oh my God. Jerry.
I got it.
Breathe.
Right.
Hey, you're not the Mooger Fooger.
I can say it. I can say it now. Yeah, I mean, it's Going to California is obviously my favorite song off the album. It's my 3rd favorite Zeppelin song. Actually, my top songs from Zeppelin are slow songs. 10 Years Gone is my favorite off Physical Graffiti, and then the Rain song off House of the Holy is my 2nd favorite.
Oh man, so good.
And this one here's my 3rd favorite. I just love the combination of the mandolin, and the acoustic guitar. I love the vocals. I love the lyrics on it. They're heartfelt. They're emotional, well written. It also reminds me of days just sitting around with my friends with our acoustic guitars, just writing shit and coming up with these cool melodies. I mean, that's what it reminds me of. And Andy mentioned this. There's songs you can picture in your head as you're hearing them. And this one you can actually picture it.
Yeah.
What's going on in the song, in my opinion. It's absolutely a fantastic track. And it's, my number 1 hands down. I mean, I've said this on a lot of Zeppelin episodes before. It's one of my favorite Zeppelin songs. So it's really no surprise, I'm sure. Yeah. But anyway, that's my number 1.
Good song. All right, Joe. This is your moment of truth. What's your number 1 album?
So the reason that this song is my number one is it's quite personal, especially for me. Is it's associated with one of the greatest memories of my life, which was a few years ago, sitting in my dad's best friend's backyard around a bonfire with my dad and his best friend and some other friends, and sitting around enjoying a nice cold beverage, and we may or may not have just lit one up, and we were playing some music over the speakers, and this song came on, and it fit the moment so perfectly, and it was just one of those you could just immediately go back to those moments in your life. And whenever I hear Going to California, it takes me right back to that moment, and just that there's such an amazingly beautiful song. Everything Jerry said about it, it's just it's in close contention for probably one of my favorite Led Zeppelin songs of all time. And it just for, if for nothing else, for its association with that moment, it's just, it will always remain with me. And for that reason, but also just for how amazing the song is on its own, that's my number one on this album, is Going to California.
Yeah. You know, there's certain songs that pop into your head because of certain moments that you've
You
shared.
can isolate that exact memory.
Yeah, and there's songs that do
Yeah.
that. You know, you remember people that you haven't seen in years, and that song, and you think about that person,
Oh man.
or people, or time and moment, or the car you were in, or
do you remember the day you bought that cassette or
Yeah.
record or
Oh.
tape? You remember what you were
You got
doing, how
that-
much money you had, what you were thinking about getting at that time, but
Yeah.
you got that instead, you know?
when you got that album and you drove around playing it,
Yeah.
soup to nuts, and music is so incredible in
Incredible.
the way that it can imprint on us so well. And that, like Joseph said, with that moment of, you know, you have this bonfire, your dad and your buddies, and like, god damn it.
You know, it's
I
like
could I get so many emotions swimming through my head because I have all these isolated moments, and I could think of every specific song that is associated with it. And that's like that, how people say like sense of smell obviously is such a huge sensory thing, but for us like giant music nerds, music is man.
Well, that's like my mom, I'd catch her dancing to Glenn Frey or Fry, Party Town in the garage, and every time I hear Party Town, I think of my mom just getting down with her bags
I love
up
it.
on the
I love it.
you know,
So
or
good.
New Kid in
Yeah.
Town by the Eagles. She loved that too, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was a great
Sweet.
song. But you know, it makes you think that a good movie is 2 hours long that tells you a story.
yeah.
A song can do that in minutes.
Yes.
A good song can tell you a
Ah.
whole story in minutes, and make you go through emotions and
Well,
just change everything in minutes.
it's like when a song comes on, I go, hey, you know what I was doing at that time, to my wife, and she goes, "Come on, Mark, again." Like, it's
So,
like
Kate,
weird.
It's
What
all
Muscle,
packed
it's
in
muscle
there.
memory. It's muscle memory. You hear something, you
It's
hear a
just
riff, and
so
it's in your brain.
yeah. It's just so sewn into the fabric of your psyche
Of
too.
who
It's
you-
so
of who you
interesting.
are.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Kate, what's your number one on this album?
Were you done, Joe? You're all set.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So my number one is When the Levee Breaks. This to me is one of my favorite songs of all time. Honestly, it's hard to isolate a top 100 songs. I mean, that's such a big deal, but this song means a lot to me. And this like reinterpretation of Memphis Minnie, so like a famous blues musician and female blues musician on top of it, like such a cool thing to do. But they're covering a song from, or reinterpreting a song, not covering a song, but whatever. 1929. Come on. Kansas Joe McCoy is the other character for that song. But this, I think about this a lot in the last, I always say it as like the last decade, but even like the last 15 years, like the political climate that has been cultivating, no matter what side you're on, you guys know everything political is so fucking crazy. And to have this song playing in my head all the time as a background to everything that's building and building and building, and it's like, are we having some other kind of civil war happening? Are we having like especially these like culture wars that are going on? And I know I'm rambling, but I just get that feeling from this
That's Zeppelin
song.
too.
And I think, yeah, well, not rambling on. There's, by the way, not enough songs about rambling. I gotta say, this day and age, we need more songs about rambling. But
It's because no one could outdo Led Zeppelin or the Allman Brothers.
Hey,
right?
Bob
they,
Seger
they
had
know where
one.
their bread's buttered.
Bob
We
Seger
definitely
had
need
rambling
some songs.
gambling, man.
We
Yep.
need more rambling.
CCR Ramble Tamble.
Huh?
Oh, right. Oh my God, that's a track.
But just, I think this song, that like driving rhythm, and I'll throw $1 in the hat saying groove, like this song, just I don't know. There are certain songs that hit me in a way that it's like, how the fuck did they think of this? How did they get this to lay down so perfectly? Like everything about this song I love. I think it's just, like I said, I love my bookends on an album when somebody can curate an album where like this opener on this is a banger. They close it, and it, what a great closer. You guys, somebody else said that. Who said that? Brad, maybe? Somebody said this closing. I don't know. But
Somebody did say that.
what a closer though, dude. Like,
Mhm.
I love this song so much. It's one of my top favorite songs of all time. But just to think about everything that's going on in this country and everything that's building all the time, and you feel that like tension, and you feel it in this song.
It was like that in the 80s also.
Yeah, well, that's like Reaganomics, dog. Like that's just
Well, I'm
stuff
talking
going on
about
where it's like
I'm
building
talking
up.
about the Russia, the Cold War, and all
Yes,
shit like
yes.
that. You know, we were gonna
Shit
get nuked. We were gonna get nuked.
But
You
it's
know,
just
the
that
ozone layer
feeling.
was fucking going away. You know, shit like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a new
And-
crisis every decade.
Well, and
man.
like 40 years later, you still have all that, and the feeling behind that. I mean, oh my God, it's such a.
Well, in the 80s, I was always hiding under a desk during a bomb drill.
Yeah,
So
like
there
that would
you
really
go.
that would really do any good, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your head
Right?
between
Oh,
your
we got a nuke coming our way. Let's hide underneath our desk.
head
Yeah.
between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, that's
Like,
basically
We had
Yeah.
bomb
I got
drills and third stage smog alerts.
Yeah, we had tornado. We had tornado drills. We had to sit in the corner with a book over our head.
See,
I
I
was
love
going to
the.
say they did the exact same things for the bomb drills as the
I
tornado
think-
drills, and I don't think it would save you from either one.
Joseph and I are the generation that is the active shooter drills. And
Oh, I'm so
totally
sorry
different
about
animal.
Especially now that
I
I'm
never
a
had
teacher
that.
and having to
Yeah.
deal with that
Oh
as a
my
teacher.
God, it's so insane to be a teacher right now.
God damn.
We never
Holy
did
shit.
bomb drill.
You ever seen that movie, The Principal?
I
Yeah,
don't
no.
think so. Who's
That's
in
with
that?
James Belushi. It's a really good movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
man, I
it's
remember that
a
one.
comic movie. All right, all right.
It's not a comic movie. It's actually a drama.
Oh,
It's
really?
good.
I don't
It's
know.
kind of the school's
No.
on lockdown. They have metal detectors and all that shit.
Man,
You watch
things
that. It's
are
kind of like
wild.
it's kind of foretelling what's happening now. So
Hmm.
it's in the 80s movie though.
Huh.
We never did bomb drills when I was in school.
Oh, we did.
No,
Yeah, we did too.
fire drills, which was cool because we'd have to go outside.
Well, fire drills were cool. But
Close
we did
the
bomb
windows,
drills.
shut the doors, go outside.
Well, I was born in, me and Jerry were like 70, 71 or something. And we were like in that era where
Mm,
we had the nuclear era where we did bomb drills in the 80s.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
I was
wild.
born in '74, which I'm not too far from y'all, but
Yeah.
it was
Well,
in the early
I was-
80s.
I was in Cincinnati when they did that shit.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, what's your number one?
Wow, I don't even know where we just went. Yeah,
I know
think
we went off the rails.
We're on next week's episode already. Yeah. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
in the 70s, the guys I hung out with, they did bong drills. So
Those are cool drills. There you go.
yeah,
Mark's
yeah.
Mark's doing one right now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Joseph. That, by the way, that was a great story, and that's the beautiful thing about music. It really is. It's. So yeah, my number one, Stairway to Heaven, and I didn't want to pick it as number one, but when I listened to it, I was like, holy crap, how can this not be number? I mean, this is legit. It just sounds so good, and it gets me how nobody's ever been able to really do this live, the last verse anyway, and sing it decent. Nobody. I've never heard.
Heart was the best one.
Wait, that version that
Heart-
Dave
the-
Grohl did on Letterman, we doesn't remember all the words.
Yeah,
I still think Ann Wilson at the Kennedy Center Honors was the best version.
okay, all right.
It's not Zappa's, I'll tell you that.
No.
Anyway, as in the late '70s, the band I was in, we played a lot of dances, high school, churches, and all kinds of things. But this was in our set, and I love this song because there's no bass for like the first 5 minutes of it. It feels like. So I'd go out and I'd pick a young lady and I'd dance with her, and then be like, "Oh, wait a second, I'll be right back," and I'd take off and run and jump on the stage and grab the bass at the right time. And just rock the rest of the song, and that brings back killer memories for me. Listening to it, it's like, God, life was so good. 78, 79, life was so good, man. So I was hiding from nothing. I was
that's when 77 is when I first got into music, man. So I'm right there with you. Yeah.
So there you go. I can't deny it. And the guitar solo, it's like you have to, if you ever cover this song, you have to play the guitar solo. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
And some of you guys probably know when Frank Zappa covered this, they did a chart for the horns to play the guitar solo, and they charted it out perfectly.
Yep.
And it's really it's that right there. Just the guitar solo is an incredible piece of music.
It was one of the few sincere covers that he ever did.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. All right, Al.
Al, what's your number one, buddy?
It's their Stairway, man. Listen, I've said this spiel before. It's number one on classic rock lists, and for a reason. And Mark, I'm gonna push back on you a little bit. A Day in the Life is one of the all-time greatest songs, but nobody ever says when they pick a band's iconic song, that's their day in the life. Nobody ever says that. They always say that's their Stairway. You know what I'm saying? Freebird, that's their Stairway. Queen, that's their Stairway, and whatever, man. Now, when we're talking about albums, people say that's their White Album, right?
Or their Sgt. Pepper.
Or Sgt. Pepper. It could be either the two. Sgt. Pepper's, that gets a little more. But I've heard White Album a lot too, so I'll give the Beatles that one. But as far as songs go, this is the top song ever written. I don't care. I mean, that's why people say, "Oh, that's that band Stairway. That's that band Stairway." Hey, it's fucking Stairway to Heaven, dude, and that's gotta be number one. Shame on you, fucking guys that didn't put this at number one.
I put it at number one.
Shame on me.
Jerry and I both said.
I put it at number one.
I didn't say you, Mark. I said
Jerry and I both said that it should be our number one.
Yeah,
but
I know.
The personal connection to
It doesn't have enough groove.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, if I told somebody
Dollar,
it should be number
dollar,
one, they think I was
dollar.
being a dick. So,
No, but anyway, man. I mean, it's the number one. So to me, it's the greatest song ever written, man. The way it's structured, the way it starts off and builds and builds and builds. And bands always strive to have a song like that, and Zeppelin is the top dog on that one, man. So that's my number one, Stairway to Heaven. Go ahead, Andy.
My number one, the only song that I'm not talking about yet, and that's Stairway to Heaven. That is one of the greatest songs ever made. And I am the biggest Beatles fan, but the Beatles never wrote a song like Stairway to Heaven or better than Stairway to Heaven. Like I said, this
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
this takes you up and down.
Opinions.
And the drumming. I mean, there's barely any drums in the beginning, and then when you get to the soloing, the drums are freaking everywhere, just everywhere, and going in every direction. The guitar solo is just amazing, and then you got the band just going in so many different directions, and then you got Plant just wailing away. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's just a great song. This is got to be one of my favorite songs of all time. This song, I know all well gets played out. I get tired of it. This is a song I can never get tired of.
I agree with you. Never.
Always,
Never.
you always hear something different. Something always sticks out to you. Says, "No, that's my favorite part. No, that's my favorite part. I like that part better."
I like the backwards version of the song too. Anyway,
Nah, dude. Bike by Pink Floyd is the trippiest song if you play it backwards, man.
Yes.
I'll
I
tell
know
you.
how
I'll tell
much
you
I
what.
love Bike.
Just play Chicago backwards. Satan's good. Satan's great. You know, there you go.
Stairway to Heaven is one of the few songs that no matter where I am or what I'm doing, if it comes on the radio or if it just comes up on my shuffle or whatever it is, I will stop what I am doing and I will immerse myself in this song.
Right
No
on.
matter what I'm doing, whenever.
Great.
It's one of those
demands,
songs.
it just demands that kind of attention,
Yeah,
man. It just
does. It really does.
So-
You know, I might be a little biased because I got into the Beatles before Led Zeppelin, and like I said, 1977, my first two tapes were Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's, and Foreigner Double Vision. So I'm a little biased with the Beatles, and both songs are awesome. They're both the greatest songs ever written in my mind. Sometimes maybe it will be the Beatles, sometimes it'll be Zeppelin. Depends on what mood I am. They're that good as songs to me. So let me explain a little bit more.
Al, shout out to those pictures of Jimmy you got in the background. What are those? Those posters or what? What are those?
Yeah, they're posters, man. Originally, they were my brother's posters. My brother was the huge Zeppelin fan. He handed them down to me. I especially love they're both. He's playing the double
The
neck.
double neck's so cool.
Yeah.
But that one where he's wearing the hat, it's just so.
Hey, bring
love-
back the cat.
I
The
love-
cat's gone.
Yeah.
There
We
we
had
go.
two cats.
There's
Yeah,
tails there. I see a
Shout out
tail.
the cat.
There they are.
Oh, Jerry, I saw that.
Yeah, but
back home.
Yeah, but my brother, he gave me those posters, and they're always hung up on his wall. And when we listen to Zeppelin, and I have a blacklight Stairway to Heaven one too that I want to frame it and set it up. I want to get a little blacklight too. It'd be cool to have it.
And he's got a big kiss sign too.
Oh yeah, I still have to put the bulbs in that and fire it up, but I will take a video of that one.
Are we putting that in the Airbnb?
Yeah. Let me know the electric bill spike when you plug that in.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
I love that cartoon that I've sent you before with the brother when he's like asking the little frogs and they ask if he can come in the room and listen to the music with them. That always, every time you talk about your brother, I think of that little comic.
Yeah. Well, my older brother shaped my music listening in the beginning, man.
Yeah,
you know?
my sisters did it for me. So yeah.
So
I love it.
I thank him for getting me into this, and I know he said he's watched our podcast like once in a while, and he gets like nostalgic, and he'll go because he later on in life, when he got older, he became more of a jazz head. Like he loved jazz and listen.
Yeah.
But me and him went to concerts together and stuff like that. So I mean, I love my brother Paul, man. I mean, he's awesome. One of the most awesome brothers you can have. So shout out to you, Paul. Thank you for all this.
Yeah, my first two concerts. My sister Amy took me to see Night Ranger. That was my first one, Midnight Madness tour. And then my other sister Mary took me to see Yes 901-2 live. Man, that was
Walker. You got to see
I got great fucking shows, dude.
I saw Big Generator in the Union tour.
Dude, when I saw that Yes concert, I was blown away, dude. It's one of the most amazing concerts I've ever seen.
Trevor Rabin, man, high five.
All right, Andy, go ahead, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I know that this was a big panel, but this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. for taking the time to hearing this album over and over again and coming up with y'all's list. Thank you so much.
So good.
And thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, Jimmy Schwartz. Thank
Before
you, Lynch, as well.
and
Yes.
before we go, man, Mark and Jerry, what do you guys got going on?
Yeah, of course.
Mark, go ahead. Tell me what we got going on tomorrow, man.
Oh, tomorrow we're doing
Your pick.
11 singers that used to be like are garbage now. 11 vocalists that are garbage now. You know, BS likes to like do the hard topics. Like we like to say things suck, and we're not always positive. And then Friday we have we're talking about Ozzy Osbourne guitarist with Mooger and Fabio Vargas. Were you on that episode, Jerry?
No, I wasn't.
He wasn't on that. We're talking to Ozzy Osbourne, so we're doing a curveball on Freeform this week. And right now we have the episode with Chris and Bushy, Kiss Carnival of Souls. That's out right now. That episode's doing pretty good right now. I'm enjoying it.
Joe,
Yes.
you got anything going on, brother?
No, not really. No.
You going to be on any future shows coming up or anything?
Not as of this moment. No.
So
Oh,
you're
you got
you're a
episodes of
lazy bum
Freeform
right now,
coming
so
up.
that's cool.
Pretty much, quite the opposite. My schedule is not. My schedule's running me into the ground. In the very near future, I there's a couple I'm looking at. I can't remember exactly. I know I'm debating. My schedule's really tough, but next week, KK's Priest is coming around with Burning Witches and LA Guns. So I'm thinking about it, but I don't think my schedule's gonna be able to. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit it in my schedule. But the next thing that I really have coming up, the next big thing would be M3 in May. So
Wait, you're going to M3?
Yeah.
Dude, we got to hang.
There's like 4 or 5 people now that all have been on this show that I got to meet up with at M3. It's great.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Seriously.
And it's
nobody
amazing how
comes to
many people-
California.
It's amazing how many people that I've talked to online have been at M3 and I never knew it.
Yeah. No, seriously, I want to meet you.
Yeah.
I'll send you my phone number, so
Sounds good.
we'll get that happening. I'd love to go to see KK's Priest with you too.
Yeah,
But-
that's they're playing down in Baltimore next Tuesday, and it's a bit of my schedule's really tight right now, and I'm probably not gonna be able to get to it. But that was one I was really looking at, and thankfully I've seen Burning Witches before at M3, so they were one that I was really looking forward to. But they were great. So
Yeah, they just added Courtney Cox, man. She's a great guitar player, man.
Yeah, they
I
did.
think KK's Priest. I think KK's Priest kicked off the tour tonight or last night.
Oh yeah, tonight I think. Yep.
Here in Florida.
Yeah, because I know Ralph said he's going. I think tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
Kate, what do you got? You got some comedy stuff coming up, right?
I don't have any shows booked right now, but we'll see.
Well, good luck with that. I know, like, you know,
Thank you.
you're starting to kick off this stuff, so it
It's,
must be nerve wracking for you being up there, man.
it is weird. It gets weird. Open mics are weird, and then I emceed my first show the other day. That was cool. Weird, but that was fun. You got to work clean. I don't know. The whole time you're just telling yourself not to drop F-bombs. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I'm buckled up. I'm ready to roll. I don't know.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What do you got going on, Brad?
I'm listening to more new music. I bought a truckload of music this last weekend.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm sorting through a whole bunch of stuff. And now that I can drive out of my garage, I might actually go someplace, but probably not very far. So,
Right.
Yeah, so I'm so that's what I'm doing. So yeah, check out yardmetal.com. See what we're doing.
That's a great station to listen to music. So
Thank you.
Andy, I haven't revealed to you, but I got my idea for next week's show.
Yep.
So I might as well reveal it now on the channel here. Being that we're in March now, it's the third month of the year.
Yep.
I got this idea. We're gonna do top 10 and 5 honorables. Third albums, your favorite third albums by power trios.
Oh, double threes.
So this is gonna make it interesting. You gotta think of all your favorite 3-man power trio bands, 3-man bands, whatever.
Mhm.
You got to look at their third albums. Pick your top 10 of their third albums.
You picked a really bad topic, dude. You picked a really bad topic.
No.
Triumph, Rush, Cream.
You should exclude Triumph and Rush.
No, I'm not going to
And
exclude
Cream.
them because some people might not have put them on the list.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
You know what I mean? So this is good. This is what's going to be. So it's going to be a little homework assignment. You know, whoever wants to get in on this, you know, hit up me or Andy, and we'll get you on the show. So
Wait, when are you doing it, Al?
next Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
All right, Andy. I know I just sprung this on you now. So
ZZ Top.
One more time. It's great.
I know all these power trios, man.
Think of all your favorite power trios and look at their third albums and rank how you would rank them, man. You know, who your favorite. You know, so we're in month number 3. So this is my theme that I've been kind of ongoing this now. So
Awesome.
That's
Zebra.
a great theme.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to say that hopefully everything goes well, and Brad and I are going to go see Saxon and Uriah Heep in May, and I've got a couple of breweries that I want to take him and his son to that are in the area. So,
that's gonna be a good double bill, man.
Yeah, that's a great double bill, Saxon and Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
And then I just bought my ticket to go see Steve Hackett in April, and in May I just got my ticket to go see Neil Young and Crazy Horse. So that's going to be fun. And in June, my wife and I just bought tickets to go see Cage the Elephant with Young the Giant. That's going to be a lot of fun too. Those are 2 bands that I really dig. Then July we bought tickets to go see Doobie Brothers with Steve Winwood. So that's going to be really cool because I've never seen either one.
I love both those bands. I love Steve Winwood band.
Yeah, and Michael McDonald is going to be with the Doobie Brothers. So that's going to be fun. And I'm hoping that Steve Winwood pulls out some stuff from Traffic. I would really love to hear.
He usually does. Because I've seen him twice, and so I'm sure he will.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I would like to hear some Blind Faith too. Not that there's too much to choose from, but there's some couple of tracks that I can really dig.
Yeah.
From that album. So, all right. It looks like we have a lot going on for all of us. Also, on 3 Shots Down, we're going to be doing a show about Blaze
Foley.
Blaze Foley.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one because I'm reading up on this guy. Holy shit, what a life, man.
Yeah, what a life this guy had. And
what was our other one? Clive Burr.
Clive Burr from Iron Maiden, yeah.
It's going to be the next one we do. And then for me, we are going to do, when it's my turn, we're going to delve into the horrible, horrible life of Phil Spector. So that's going to be a ride in itself.
That one will be off the rails.
Yeah, all thrills and a lot of chills.
Yeah. Oh my god.
From
Buckle up, y'all. Buckle up.
From genius to madman. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. This was a lot of fun to break into Led Zeppelin 4. I know that a lot of people talk about it, but I don't think it's been talked about as much as we did
So good.
tonight. You know, track by track, what we think about it, and all of our memories of these great songs. So from me and Al, we thank y'all so much for being on the show, guys. We really do appreciate all the time that you give us. Tomorrow I will be on the BS sessions with Mark and Jerry, and then, like Al said, next week we will be back here on Black Spinner Circle doing the 3 Threes, the 3rd album by a trio, and also at the end of the month, we're going to start our baseball podcast again, which is Pop the Mitt, Crack the Bat, and hopefully Jerry can join us.
Yeah, I'll definitely join you for a few shows.
It'll be right before the season starts and right at the end of spring training so we can get everything wrapped up. So thanks a lot, guys. I know that we always have long goodbyes, but it's so hard to get off of here. So, all right, guys.
Love you guys.
All right,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Have a good night. Cheers.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.